Danger Dolan. From a sharp-toothed zoo escapee to a killer mountain goat, we count 10 of the most devastating animal attacks around the world.
Number 10.
The San Francisco Zoo tiger attack. On Christmas Day 2007, Tatiana the tiger escaped her grotto enclosure at San Francisco Zoo and fatally mauled a 17-year-old boy. Carlos Eduardo Salsa Jr. had his jugular vein slashed by this ferocious animal. Although it was never proven, many believe Carlos attracted the tiger's ire by taunting it, which is just a rookie mistake. Two brothers also survived severe bites and claw wounds and were lucky to have escaped with their lives. Tatiana was brought to the San Francisco Zoo in 2005 and had previously showed signs of aggression when she clawed and bit a veteran zookeeper. The scene on Christmas was chaotic, with police delayed in their arrival. 20 minutes after her escape, Tatiana had to be shot by a zoo team member. This was the first visitor fatality caused by an animal escape in the history of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums.
Number 9.
In 2009, Charla Nash was brutally maimed by her friend's chimpanzee Travis. The 200-pound primate ripped off Nash's nose, lips, eyelids, and hands, and was shot dead by a police officer in self-defense. Travis famously appeared in television shows and commercials, including the Maury Povich Show and ads for Coca-Cola. He had exhibited no past violent behaviors. However, in 2003, he escaped his owner's car at a busy intersection and chased a man who had thrown something at their vehicle. That incident led to a new Connecticut law prohibiting people from keeping primates heavier than 50 pounds as pets. Since her attack, Charla Nash has had a full face transplant. Unfortunately, doctors were forced to remove her eyes because of a disease transmitted by the chimp, and an attempted hand transplant failed because Nash's body rejected it. The US military has reportedly paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to assist with Nash's physical rehabilitation. They believe the research could serve disfigured soldiers returning from war.
Number 8.
Maddox Durkosh was a 2-year-old boy who, in 2012, met a tragic death when he fell off a wooden rail into Pittsburgh Zoo's African wild painted dogs enclosure. The boy had poor vision, so his mother had lifted him up to give him a better view of the dogs. Maddox lunged forward to get a better view and fell 11 feet, bouncing off protective netting and into the pit, where 11 hungry dogs pounced on him. The autopsy later confirmed the boy survived the fall, but died from the severe blood loss caused by the attack. It's pretty fucked up.
Number 7.
Azaria Chamberlain was a 9-week-old infant who was tragically eaten by a dingo in Australia's Northern Territory in 1980. Azaria's mother, Lindy Chamberlain, immediately contacted police to report that a dingo had stolen her baby. Lindy was trialed and eventually convicted of first-degree murder because there was insufficient evidence to suggest the dingo even existed. The case was highly controversial. During the trial, Lindy Chamberlain had been adamant Azaria was wearing a matinee jacket over her jumpsuit at the time of her disappearance. In 1986, police discovered Azaria's missing jacket in an area full of dingo layers while investigating an unrelated incident. The Northern Territory Chief Minister immediately ordered the Chamberlain's release and the case was officially closed. The 1988 film A Cry in the Dark, starring Meryl Streep, depicts the events of the Chamberlain case. Spoilers, a dingo stole her baby!
Number 6.
In 2003, 13-year-old surfer Bethany Hamilton was attacked by a shark while surfing in Tunnels Beach, Kauai. She'd been lying on a surfboard with one arm in the water when a hungry tiger shark swam up and ripped off her arm, permanently severing it. The attack occurred at 7:30 in the morning and Hamilton lost an astonishing 60% of her blood. Fortunately, a doctor living in a nearby hotel came to her rescue and she miraculously survived. The offending tiger shark was hunted down and killed, and Hamilton returned to surfing 3 weeks later. The broken surfboard Hamilton rode during the attack is on display at the California Surf Museum.
Number 5.
Roy Horn Tiger Attack. Our second tiger entry. Seriously, don't mess with these creatures. 2003, during a Siegfried and Roy show at the Mirage, performer Roy Horn was attacked by the 7-year-old tiger he trained and worked with. For reasons unknown, Manticore the tiger lunged at Horn during the middle of the show. Horn was dragged off stage, leaving audience members nervously clapping, wondering whether it was all part of the show. By the time emergency workers arrived, Horn had sustained breathing difficulties. He'd suffered substantial blood loss and was rushed to the trauma center of a nearby Nevada medical center. Horn remained in a critical condition for weeks following the attack, and had to have part of his skull removed to reduce pressure on his brain. Despite all this, he has no hard feelings towards the tiger and continues to work with him.
Number 4.
In February 2010, a SeaWorld Orlando trainer named Dawn Brunshaw was killed after a 12,300 pound killer whale attacked her during a Dine with Shamu show. Tillicum, the whale, reportedly yanked Brunshaw by her ponytail and dragged her down to the bottom of the pool. Witnesses who were there claimed that by the time Tillicum and Brunshaw were underwater, he had her by the waist and the pool quickly turned red. The incident is recounted in the 2013 documentary Blackfish. The film features interviews with SeaWorld staff who claim Tillicum's depression and other behavioral issues stemmed from the horrendous conditions he was kept in. Tillicum is the largest orca in captivity and has, incredibly, played roles in the deaths of 3 people.
Number 3.
Less than a year old, William Wynans was chilling, asleep in his crib one night when a freak python appeared and wrapped itself around his foot, constricting and attempting to eat it. The python was discovered when William's father came into the room at 11 PM to investigate William's crying. Thinking quickly, William's dad removed the snake using a blanket. William was then rushed to hospital, having sustained bruises, scratches, and a bite mark. The python is believed to have been a pet that had escaped from a neighbor's apartment. William's mother said she had never seen any pythons around, and that someone had clearly violated the building's no animal policy. This demonstrates how easily escaped pets can become dangerous predators. It would never happen with a goldfish though. Those are okay.
Number 2.
Darla Napora was a pregnant 32-year-old pit bull advocate who was found mauled to death in her California living room. Her carpet was soaked with blood when she was discovered by her husband, and reports say she was unresponsive and not breathing. The offending canine was Napora's 2-year-old pet pit bull, which was immediately put down when it later escaped the confines of its backyard. Napora has been a member of Bay Area's Dog Lovers Responsible About Pit Bulls, a group that campaigns to convince the public that pit bulls are safe to own. It's unknown whether she was killed by the vicious dog attack or the huge dose of irony.
Number 1.
The Kerala Festival Elephant Rampage. There's been an alarming rise in elephant attacks and tramplings during Hindu festivals. In the southern Indian state of Kerala, elephants are customarily adorned with a decorative cloth called a caparison and used in ceremonial festivals. The world's only elephant palace, located near the famous Guruvayur temple, houses more than 60 captive elephants, which are called upon during festivals. Ordinarily, elephants and humans coexist peacefully. However, there have been recent reports of elephants going berserk during festivals, killing their trainers and severely injuring more than hundreds of onlookers. Between 1998 and 2010, more than 212 people have reportedly died from elephant attacks. It really is a shame that we just can't get along with all the goddamn elephants. That's it for this countdown, and have a good one!